Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Woo! Good morning. I am here today, excited and enthusiastic about engaging in this conversation with you on creating your joy-driven life. This is part 3. So I welcome all of you all this morning, Facebook community. My name is Valerie Lyons, and I'm a career healer, power networker, and women empowerment igniter. And I love talking about joy. I love it because it creates it. And we're going to talk more about that today. So welcome, 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 Facebook family. As you enter the room, you might want to grab a pen, a paper, an open heart, an open mind, and we're going to have a wonderful conversation today about creating your joy-driven life. And this is part 3. We're going to do a little recap and talk a little bit about what we shared in part 1 and 2. But I'm thrilled to be here. I'm grateful to be here and excited to engage in this conversation with you around creating your joy-driven life, because I have it that we all want joy. And I have it that we all have joy. And sometimes it's just seeking it. It's looking, taking a look. Hey, Adam, welcome those who are entering the Zoom room. We're here for our conversation around creating your joy-driven life. This is part 3. And some of you have attended the prior sessions, part 1 and 2. Please grab a pen and paper if you can, or you can use your phone, because we're going to have a powerful conversation around joy. And where is joy present? Where is joy missing? And we'll be talking about some other aspects of joy, because it's really all about looking to where we can find joy. And we talked earlier about how joy is found within. So we're going to talk more about that. But welcome, Facebook family. Welcome those who are coming into the Zoom room. Welcome the Wake Up Everybody community. I'm thrilled that you're up with me and willing and interested to have this really powerful conversation around creating joy in our lives. So I hope you're here with an open heart, an open mind, and a willingness to engage in this conversation, because it really is a conversation between amongst all of us, right? So it's important that we hear all voices, because all voices make a difference, and that's how we learn and grow. So welcome, welcome, welcome once again to Facebook. Hey,
good morning, Valerie. How are you doing?
Adam, I'm doing great. How are you?
Every day is a good day.
I know that's right. Thank you for that reminder that every day is a good day. And really what there is to do is to seek that out and expect it. How about that?
Exactly.
Yes. So welcome.
Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. It's time to get up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. It's time to get up. We're healing, we're dealing, we're growing. Together, together, releasing. We're teaching, we're moving. Together, together, we're learning, discerning, We're striving together, together. We're leading, connecting, transforming together, together.
Greetings, 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 everyone. My name is Valerie J. Lyons, and I'm blessed and thrilled to be here with you this morning. We are having a conversation around creating your joy-driven life, and this is part 3. So if you have a piece of paper and a pen, or want to use your phone, that would be great, because you may want to jot some things down. So I want to welcome Facebook family, and I want to welcome those who are here on Zoom. Welcome this morning, and we're going to get started. Before we move into the formal presentation, I wanted to do a little recap. Of what we've discussed in the past. So before we get to that slide, just want to do a little recap around what we've talked about. So what we've talked about includes being present to joy in your life, being present to joy, right? So one of the things that's really important is to really seek joy and look for joy in everything. So if anyone wants to share just one thing that you're joyful about today, anything that you can share, and we can go back to the slide that's before that, anything that you can share about what brings you joy. Or where is joy present in your life? Z said, I woke up. Well, it starts there, right? Being just grateful for life, right? One thing that brings me joy is my ability to create, create conversations, create my career. Those are some of the things that bring me joy, that I know that I have it within me to really create. Anybody else want to share?
Looks like we have Zahora unmuted. Did you want to speak?
Yes, I think my inner divinity is the joy that I enjoyed today. Being in touch with the spark of the source. Like it's an inner feeling that we are all born with,
Mm-hmm.
and we always know that as a spiritual life, there's something higher than ourselves that we reach out to, but he puts it inside of us too.
Yes, the divine within. And thank you for that, Zahara, because that really speaks to the difference between joy and happiness, right? You're talking about that inner sense of peace, right?
Right.
That state that stays with us, and can stay without us throughout all of the trials and tribulations that we may face. And we talked about the distinction between happiness and joy, and happiness being more of a reaction to the external. And as you talked about, Zahara, the joy is from within. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Anybody else would like to share? And one of the things that we also talked about was the idea of creating, because we're talking about creating your joy-driven life. And when we talked about creating, we really talked about the idea of choice, creating by choice. Now, the slide that I had before, which I want to just turn to a little bit, has to do with allowing your mental health, your spiritual health, and your physical health to lead you. This is one of the mantras, or one of the themes, of my life, that I ground myself in this, right? Again, allow your mental health, your spiritual health, and your physical health to lead you. Does anyone want to just share? Well, first of all, I don't know if this resonates with anyone. If anyone would like to just share what they are getting from this, this mantra or this way of being. Well, I'll share. I know it may take people a while to get engaged. When I allow my mental health, my spiritual health, and my physical health to lead me, it really informs the decisions that I make. I'm always a yes. That's my energy, is a yes. But if I need to check in sometimes, how am I doing emotionally? What is spirit telling me? My spirit guide, right? And am I really physically up to it, right? So this is how I use this as a framework, because I really I get that it helps me make choices, make decisions. So I hope this is something that you can, use for yourself. If you find it helpful, I certainly do.
And Valerie, I'd like to add for what brings me joy, or what has recently brought me joy. I spent the week with my grandmother, and so since I work from home, I have the flexibility to do that. And God bless her heart, her and her sister. They're just, I'm trying to explain to them that I'm here, but I'm not here. Like, you see
Right.
me physically, but I can't talk all the time. I can't do this and that. And so it really threw me off from being as organized as I usually am. And I was thrown off as far as my tasks, my schedule that I usually keep when I'm here at home. And so I just felt so unorganized and uncomfortable. And yesterday I finally made it back home, and I just wrote down everything I needed to do and organize my thoughts, and started creating a new to-do list, and started creating a list of all of the things I need to work on, the projects, and just thinking about the things I have to work on. And sometimes it can be daunting. It still brought me joy that I have to create this for this person, or I have to create this for this system. And I'm excited to get back in my zone. I'm excited to organize my thoughts so that I can feel like I can go into that. So making sure my mental health is clear, that my space is clear, in order to start giving birth to these ideas again. But I just felt the shift in my spirit because I felt so unorganized, and I was out of my environment where I usually do this. And so taking myself out of that and being there this last week has really thrown me off. And I realized how important it is for me to be in my zone, for me to be in my space, and to have that joy. But I did have joy being with them as well. It was nice to go out during the week and not be behind the computer. To go out, my grandmother treated us to see Aladdin on Wednesday, and then on Thursday we went out for dinner. And I'm always in the house during the week by myself. And so it was joyful to be with them at the same time, but it also caused a shift in me being productive. So I had to find that balance.
Yeah, you remind me of a conversation I had with someone that I coach, and I had this conversation recently. And that is looking at how we define what it means to be productive. Because self-care, connection with loved one, productive. I heard you say that you experienced joy with being your grandmother, and you know what? God bless you. You have a grandmother. That's such a blessing in and of itself, right?
Yes, yes.
And you also acknowledge you were a little thrown off because you were not in your. But I just, it's the whole thing that's joyful. It's the whole thing, and we don't want to. I'm just having these conversations around productivity. Is not just killing yourself. It's not just work. It's also the time that you need to take to reconnect, to stop, to build, to dream, all of that. Okay, so I just wanted to put that in.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Did anyone else have any comments before we move on?
No, it looks like we're good in the chat.
Okay, good. All right, so just briefly, wanted to go over where we left off in our last conversation. We had this conversation around being your authentic self. And the power of being your authentic self is that joy lives there. Joy lives within your authentic self. So what I'd like to do, if I can have somebody read the first, on the first line of being your authentic self in the slide. Can I have a volunteer to read, please?
Wanted someone to read the first off of the list.
Yes.
Okay.
If we can get.
I can take it. Let's do take personal inventory.
Okay, so when it comes to taking your personal inventory, what shows up for you in terms of taking a personal inventory inside of being your authentic self? How does taking a personal inventory make a difference?
I'm actually going to my notes from the last one. And taking inventory, one of the things I wrote here was of my circle and the people who I'm surrounding myself with, like-minded people. And are they dragging me down, or are they encouraging me? Are we encouraging each other? And so knowing that I can build that village, build my tribe from there, and knowing that there will be shifts. There will be shifts in what that looks like as time goes on, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And how does my energy shift with certain people that come around, and knowing this person may not serve me anymore, this relationship does not serve me anymore, and just taking inventory of my body, my mind, body, and spirit. What is my body saying? What is spirit saying? And being realistic and authentic with myself in that, even when I'm uncomfortable with it. Do you need this person? Is this activity serving you? Does it make things worse? Do you show up as a different person when you engage in this activity or with this person? And being honest. Like I said, I can list these things, but then having to read it and internalize it is a different story. And then sitting with that to actually create a change is where the work will be.
Yes, great. Thank you, Chantella. Yeah, it's being honest and being committed to your own, to your happiness and to your self-care. So checking in, taking a personal inventory.
An inventory where I'm not feeling joyful, and being realistic with myself there.
Yes, yeah. And not beating yourself up, but just, being honest.
Yes.
Right. And we also talked about the power of being present, and being your authentic self. And oftentimes, there's a lot of chatter in our heads, and we're not always present to the moment. I'm always stopping. I mean, I've been known to stop in the middle of the street just to say I'm walking down Lenox Avenue. I'm in Harlem right now. I'm like acknowledging where I am, because the moments pass and we often get distracted. So the idea of being present is something else that shows up inside of being your authentic self. I don't know, we have any volunteers to read the next item on the slide?
Anyone want to take on building your team? Building your team, what does that look like? Let's see, we have a hand raised. Zohora. Can you come off mute? Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Take daily action. I think that if you read scripture, pray, go to meetings, and just engage yourself in getting better at receiving your joy, it works. if you work a plan. So you just make a plan of action and just follow through and check off the things that you have accomplished, and you can get confidence in yourself, and that's joy within.
Mhm, mhm. So, were you referring to taking daily action? Or yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Looking at ways in which you can get engaged with others. Um, yeah. Looking at how you can create joy for yourself and find it within. Okay. We talked about building your team. And I always reference this community as a really wonderful support team um, of like-minded people, shared values, and the importance of really looking for individuals, looking for groups, looking for that kind of support, because that also uplifts us and helps us to maintain our joy. Speaking your truth, do we have someone who can volunteer speaking their truth about that?
Yes, we have Teresa.
All right, Teresa.
Peace and blessing, family. How y'all doing?
All right, Teresa.
Um, Speaking your truth, it says being your authentic self. I feel like I struggle sometimes in that place. I mean, I do speak my truth, but I just feel like um I have allowed certain things to like I guess certain ways that I deal with certain people, to block. So now that I'm speaking my truth, I'm not used to it and they're not used to it. So it can be challenging for me, but I'm determined to do it because by me not speaking my truth, it hasn't helped the situation. And so I feel like it's important for, like something you said to Chantel about, you were saying about she was feeling, said she didn't feel productive because she went out. But it's like, because we got this work all the time. Like I went out yesterday and I had a good time. In the end, I was exhausted and in pain, but whatever, but I had a good time. But I came home and I was trying to work and the computer wouldn't work. So I was sitting there and I was like, okay, Trish, this computer ain't work. I know what you got in your plan. So, I had to speak to myself, girl, get your behind in the bed because the computer ain't working. And normally I would have been just kept on. I did for a little while, don't you? The spirit's trying to say, go to bed.
Mm,
And so I spoke to myself, girl, get your behind in the bed. Forget about it. It's not working. So it's like, just me being comfortable, with like whatever's happening at the time. That's part of me speaking my truth. Because if a situation's not working out, don't keep on fighting, trying to push something to make it work. And I'm complete.
thank you, Teresa. Because what I heard you saying is that speaking your truth is not always comfortable. That's number one. Not everybody's going to get it, right? And then I also heard you really touch on when I speak my truth, am I grounded in spirit? Right? So that's something else, really tapping into spirit guide as you speak your truth, that it's grounded in spirit. I also heard that. So thank you for that. Let's see. Taking a step back, I think we did have someone speak to take daily action, but taking a step back to gain perspective. Can anybody speak to that? Taking a step back to gain perspective. And how that supports you in being your authentic self.
I could take a stab at it.
Okay, Adam, thank you.
Okay. Whenever I take a step back to gain perspective, I pretty much try to, take my own self out of the equation and put my ego and pride to a side and look at other people's point of view. Because my point of view may not always be right, even though I've been, living it for the last 20 years. Sometimes when you try to gain perspective of somebody else's perspective, you try to, see things that you never seen before. and their perspective can be more beneficial than your own perspective that you have for that I have for 20 years or whatnot. So for instance, the type of food that I eat every day
Mhm.
may not, be as beneficial versus what somebody else is eating and what they're getting from it. Or the type of clothes that I wear may not be better than what somebody else is wearing. So whenever I see a person wearing a suit and tie, um his perspective is you got to wear a suit and tie so you can attract better people and quality people, versus whenever I wear a shirt or in the pants, I mean I attract a lot of quality people. So whenever I think of that, I think of taking my ego and my pride out of it, and just listen to other people's perspective, and I'm complete.
Well, thank you for that, Adam. That really takes some wisdom, which we'll be talking about in a hot minute, um, to be able to step back and to see the world through other people's eyes, knowing that you have your own perspective that works for you, and your own perspective may not work for all. So being open, I love it. Being open, that's how we learn. And either we take it or we don't, but at least we're willing. So thank you for your willingness to want to.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you, Adam. And then we talked about recognizing internal versus external influences, which is so important in us being our authentic self, to recognize internal versus external influences. Anybody have anything to say about that? Internal versus external influences, and how that can support us in being our authentic self.
I'll tell you a good example. I was at the park yesterday, and I wanted to stay because there's been some really great music, and it's was like, no, go home. And just when I was leaving, some cops came into the park, so I was like, see, pay to listen, because what I've been doing lately is like Spirit, what you want me to do. And when I ask Spirit, especially, based on me, trying to figure it out, that I've been, getting some great results. So
Good.
when I'm digging deep down internally,
Mhm.
then my external, my external was like, oh, stay here and party, have a good time. But like, no, it's time to go, go home. And I'm glad I listened because I was exhausted by the time I got home. So if I would have, not listened, then I would have, it would have been a little rough for me. So I'm just
Mhm.
glad that I'm listening. That's so important.
That's great, Teresa. Again, turning inward, listening to spirit guide, listening to your body, listening to your values, your core values, which may not necessarily be the same as someone else's. So really, like hearing and knowing what's going on externally, and trusting yourself, right? Trusting yourself and listening to spirit. So thank you for that. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's some of what we covered. Just doing a little recap from
Yeah.
our sessions 1 and 2. Yeah, was there
I
someone
was
else?
gonna say Catherine, sweetness.
Yes, sweetness.
Grand Rising, everyone. Peace and blessings be extended to the community today.
How are you?
I am extremely excited, grateful, relevant, and necessary, generous, kind, and patient. Those are just a few things of how I am and what I am. So, you just said what I was going to say, Sister Valerie, Coach Valerie, is that listening and hearing. On my journey, I'm noticing listening and hearing are two different things. Yes. And the more important part of prayer, because I'm connecting listening and hearing to, what we tend to do. We tend to pray. And so we do a lot of talking, a one-sided conversation, usually when we're praying. So the listening and hearing is important. So hearing what my body is saying to me. And that's what I notice. Oftentimes I'm ignoring what my body is saying to me. And I say that I'm listening. However, I'm making a connection with how I feel, how I show up in the world, in the community, in my home, is connected to how I am with my health. So if I'm racked with pain, then I'm going to show up in a particular way. If I continue to doing things to encourage the pain, then I'm going to show up in a particular way. And I'm noticing that, and I have quite a few people in my circle, in my life, that have chronic pain. And I'm learning that I can be around them because I know the signs. Like, you know, they might be agitated or short with their patience. And I don't want to say I tolerate them because I'm understanding them. And then they're appreciating that I'm understanding them. So I get real excited that I can be around people like that, you know, because they mean me no harm. I'm clear about that. I'm not talking about people, you know, who treat you bad. I'm talking about being around people who are in a particular way because they're in pain.
Yeah.
And I got that from caring for my husband. And so I just had two instances where I got excited that I was able, you know, to be around somebody and be my authentic self, because my authentic self is a caring person. That's just who I am. I didn't choose that. However, I noticed that that's what I am. So I'm able to be myself around other people who are not necessarily treating me how I want to be treated, but I'm understanding why they are responding and behaving the way they are. So I was so grateful that I'm grown to a place where I can do that. So I get joy from that.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for sharing that, Sweetness, because what you pointed to is we don't know what other people are dealing with. We don't know what other people are dealing with. And often we react or respond to how people present. And there are a lot of people that are living in pain and are having a hard time. And whether it's physical pain, emotional pain, or spiritual pain, you know, so it makes a difference to give people the benefit of the doubt and to be present and be available, not necessarily be beat up, you know, but to give people the benefit of the doubt and to still be loving despite of how they may show up. That doesn't mean being a doormat. I'm just saying, not assuming that when you get a particular reaction from somebody, it's because they're just, you know, they just have an attitude. When in fact, most of us are dealing with something anyway. It's just a matter of some of us are able to manage what we're dealing with differently than others. So thank you so much for that. Okay.
Bola is unmuted.
Oh, yes. Bola?
Did you want to share something, Bola? You're unmuted.
That was an error. I'm sorry.
No worries.
All right. All right. So we can go back to the slides. Self-love. When we talk about joy, self-love, self-love is where it's at. Really taking a look at how we care for ourselves, the extent that we love ourselves, right? So when we look at these different aspects of self-love, I want you to just think about this for yourself. How does it show up for you? Accepting the unacceptable. How does that show up for you inside of self-love? Can anyone want to respond to that? Accepting the unacceptable. What do you think that, or what does that mean to you?
Yeah, I would like to tackle that. You said accepting the unacceptable. That's what me. When you say that, you mean based on with myself or with others or both.
What do you think? Where do you want to go with it?
Well, I've been dealing with a situation with a couple of family members of mine, and I didn't like what they said, and I realized like um when I and it's part of me too. The thing about it is that with me, what I'm trying to figure out is like, how do I, you know, like do accepting the unacceptable. Like, how do I, like, just handle them in love and just, like when you said about sometimes people are going through pain, like spiritual, whatever. They're going through pain, and sometimes, people are going through stuff because they're in pain. And the thing with me is that what I've done is that I have been trying to prove to them who I am when I just have to be who I am. And so um that's been my fight. And so if a person does or don't, like what I do or don't do, um it's okay. It's like I made a statement, I was I had a statement I made to someone, and they were saying that I was judging them. It wasn't I was judging them. I just felt like that was something that I didn't want, I didn't care, to be happening. And so I listen to spirit. That's the one thing too that I've been doing more, is just listening to see like what I said. But I might have overreacted some, but I still stand on what I said. And by me standing on, how I feel about the situation, sometimes the person might not, like it or don't talk with you, whatever for a thing. And I'm learning to be okay. Before I would get like really upset and oh, why they not talking to me? But I believe I listen, and I spoke to spirit. I was like, the way I did overreact, like getting upset about it, but I still stand on, what I said, how I felt about it. And so I'm okay with it. And that's like accepting the unacceptable, because everyone is not going to always like everything that you say or agree with what you say. But if you check yourself to make sure that you wasn't saying nothing, malice to anyone, then you could be okay whatever the outcome is. And so this is a new place for me, because I'm always trying to appease, like
Mhm.
appease people sometimes. And so by me not appeasing to that degree, I'm accepting, who I am, my unique self, and I'm complete. I
I,
know my journey.
I think you said it all with that, accepting what is and what isn't. Accepting that people have a difference of opinion, that, it's not about being right. It's about accepting that you have one way of looking at the world, other people have another way to looking at the world. You have one way of managing your finances, other people have their way of managing their finances, that whatever way works for you doesn't necessarily work for others, and accepting that, right? Accepting differences that you may have with another. Not necessarily enjoying it, but not resisting it is what accepting the unacceptable also speaks to, which you also mentioned, Teresa. Not resisting what is. Okay, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
Sure.
We Dakia had her hand raised, and then Catherine. Dakia, did you still want to share? I just asked her that.
Oh, sorry about that. Yes, I just wanted to say that to me, accepting the unacceptable is also just forgiving yourself for things that you did accept that was unacceptable, and coming to peace with it. And that's how I like that it's the first thing with self-love, because that's real tough to do.
first of all, thank you so much for sharing that there's forgiveness inside of accepting. There's forgiveness, and forgiveness of self is key. And when you said it's so tough to do, how does that show up for you in being tough?
Um, it's just something that it's just something that I'm afraid to do because I don't always want to I don't never want to take accountability for someone else's actions, knowing that my actions was involved too. You know what I mean? Like I have to acknowledge and accept that I allowed that because I didn't love myself, if that makes sense.
I do.
And it's a lot when you really gotta sit there and break it down. To me, because I'm the type of person that I'm just like easygoing, I'm easy to get along with. So, and I think I do that to protect myself. Like, oh, it happened. It happened. Like, either we're gonna get past it or we're not. Like, I don't want to unpack that. Like, you know, I'm that type of person. Like, I just want to push past it, act like it never happened, or like, and then that's not good either because it always shows up like, oh, this is the third time you did it. But if you forgot those other times and you push past it, why are you saying it's the third time? You know, so it's just like contradicting. And it's just a lot.
You know what, honey? What I'm hearing, because this is something that happens to many of us, all of us. I've certainly been there where I didn't want to deal with something and I suppressed it in an effort to get along, you know? And part of the healing process is dealing with stuff as it happens and working through it and giving yourself grace. Forgiveness is also you're a human being, you know? So giving yourself grace, trying your best to deal with things as they happen, because otherwise it starts to mount one on top of the other. That's when it gets overwhelming, you know? So
Yeah.
I would encourage you to, and part of this, we talked about this last time, and I'm just gonna say it. We talked about coaching and counseling. We can't do this life alone. I don't care what anybody says. We need support. We need an ear. We need counsel from people who are objective, competent, compassionate, and kind. It's hard for us to figure all this stuff out. And that's what I also hear for you, honey. There's a lot going on in your life and you're trying to sort it out on your own. And that is also something that all of us do. And I'm telling you, I'm at this stage in my life, I was gonna say 61, but I'm gonna be 62. I'll be 62 in December. I'm not playing. I'm getting all the support I can. I got the memo a little late. Well, not really, because I've always been one to get support. But putting my self-care first, that memo is a little late. So, Catherine, I pray that you continue to seek the support to assist you with sorting your life out and bringing joy to your life. Okay?
That was the Kia.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Zakia, and thank you for sharing.
Right, and then Catherine is actually up next.
Okay, Catherine. All right, get my folks together here.
Oh, that was funny to me anyway. Let me get on camera so she can see that. I think you know.
I see.
You see me? This is what I look like for right now, and I'm loving it. So I'm sending light and love to the sister that just shared. I am my sister myself. So we're growing and flowing together. I love it. So priorities is what I'm finding. I'm taking some inventory concerning, am I getting my joy from exterior or interior? So now that I'm finding myself, I live in a house that I'm allowing spirit to make a home. And for the most part, I am in a room of the house I'm hesitating to say alone or by myself, because we have the unseen with us. However, to make my point is that it's allowing me to check to see if what I need is what I'm seeking outside of myself. Because I already know in my mind and my heart, probably in my bone marrow, that everything I need is inside. However, am I checking more so outside for what's already inside, which is pretty time consuming. So that's what I'm doing right now in this season, is to make sure that I have joy inside of me, that I'm not waiting for a plane to land or a ship to dock, for it to be outside of me. And I'm finding that a lot of what makes me happy is inside of me. And Coach Valerie, I'm finding that taking time to know who I am, I took some time to know who I am, and I've accepted, what I saw. No, did I like everything I saw? No. However, I knew I had the power to make adjustments.
Mhm.
And so I found out who I was, and then I started to love who I am. And then that also brings me joy, which allows me to extend that to other people. So that's what I've been spending time and energy on. And that's what I'm noticing about the journey that I've been on, is that I've come to a place where I have enough inside of me to experience joy, to be joy. And then also, I even have a little bit extra on a regular to give it to people when I do extend myself out of this house. When I go to the gym and I meet other people, I see other people, interact with other people. And I got excited the day before yesterday. A man told me I looked nice in my dress. I had I had put on a dress Friday, and I must have looked nice in it. Well, his eyes, let me not embellish this. His eyes told me, you look nice in your dress. So I got excited about that. However, that didn't necessarily change my day. You know what I'm saying? So I noticed that he noticed me looking nice, and I was grateful about that, because I did spend a little extra time getting dressed. Usually I just throw on some stretch pants and a t-shirt. So yeah. So what I want to share with the family and leave with the community is that what I have inside is enough.
Yeah, that's powerful. That's really great. Thank you, Catherine. Yes, acknowledging that we have the resources within, and really tapping into those resources and being good with those resources and relying on those resources and expanding those resources such that whatever happens on the outside is gravy. It's great to get compliments. It's great to feel complimented, and have it come from within, knowing that you're enough. So thank you so much for that, Catherine. We're going to move on because I know we have more to cover. Can we go back to the slides for a sec, Chantel? Accepting who you are and who you're not. I believe that this is something that has actually come up, and even in Catherine shared just now, accepting who you are and who you're not. You don't need to be fixed. How about that? You're all good. Accepting all of your gifts, your talents, your strengths, accepting the areas that you want to expand or improve. So, we all have these ways of being that we're excited about, and other ways that maybe we're not so excited about, but that it's all good. We're still gifted, we're still great, we're still, perfect human beings inside of our imperfections, right? So accepting who you are and who you're not. Anyone have anything to share about that?
Yes, this is Teresa. How you doing? Go on camera. I fixed my hair some so I don't look like crazy lady. What I want to say to that is that Z made a statement about holding, letting go to hold a peace, but um, I had to let that go. You know why? Because I realized in me, um, holding my peace so much, then it became like a problem for me. It's like I wasn't speaking my truth about how I felt, and I would just let stuff go, and I started getting bitter. So I had to, let go of that way of thinking. I'm not saying it for Z. It's just that it just hit a spot in me when she said that. Is that I had to let go of that thinking. Is that sometimes silence is not always good for me. There's times when I have to let go of me being afraid to say something and worried about what people are going to say. You know, has been a problem for me, and I don't. I do my best to be as kind, but if a person is doing something that bothers me, I would just say, I'll just leave it alone. But no, I can't do that anymore because I have to let go of that mindset. I have to speak, like I'll be like just my throat will start getting all, shaky, I start getting mixed up. And I was like, Teresa, like, why are you getting mixed up? And it's because I have that person in a certain place in my life. So I'm learning to let go of that part of me to be able to speak my truth and just say, hey, you know what? I don't like what you said. And, I don't like what you said, and what you said to me hurt my feelings. And, I'm just not going to, allow that kind of behavior. And so it is new for me because people are not used to me, you know, like I'll speak up in here, but sometimes when it comes to, certain people, I will not speak. And so I have to stop it. So that's why I'm letting go of that past thinking of, being silent, because I'm not peaceful about being silent. So that doesn't help me to be silent. So I'm learning that new way of, looking at life and thinking now because my silence is not always peaceful for me.
I hear you, Teresa. So you're speaking to letting go of who you've been and embracing who you are.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, letting go. Yes, we're always evolving. If we're open, we're always evolving. And as we evolve, some folks are going to get us, and some folks won't, because some folks, as we evolve, they're used to dealing with us as who we were in the past. They're not used to dealing with who we are in the present, right? So, and that's and coming to terms with that is not always easy, right? But that's what you're speaking to. You're the kind of woman that withheld a lot. It didn't work, and now you're choosing to be more expressive. Some people are not with that, right? So us accepting ourselves for who we are and who we're not also is inside of accepting the fact and recognizing the fact that we do evolve over time. And also knowing that we evolve over time also gives us some space to recognize that others can evolve over time. So no, don't minimize the possibility of other people evolving over time. So thank you so much, Teresa, for sharing.
And then we have some shares in the chat as well.
Sure.
And Catherine said, I have to be okay with what I do and what I say. More accountability is on me with me. And she also said, how I treat myself is as important as how I treat others. And we got to get self. We do accept our new selves. And Jim said from Facebook that last Sunday on an impulse, she went to a spa, went into 4 saunas and had a meal. It was very healing and cleansing. And her favorite essential oil is called Joy.
Ah, that sounds great. Self-care, self-love, self-care. Good for you. There's a new spa I heard about on Governor's Island. And I want to get there. So thank you for that reminder. Forgiveness, self-love. Forgiveness is inside of self-love. Self-love is inside of forgiveness. The ability for us to forgive ourselves. We talked about that here, and to forgive others. Does anyone is anyone challenged? I mean, this is not always easy to forgive. Is anyone here challenged, or anyone want to speak to forgiveness as a process and as a component of self-love?
Now let's hear from Dakia.
Good.
So I feel like forgiveness is very hard because it's just like, why did you have to do me like that? Or like, how can I really trust you again or forgive you? Or like, not think twice about being comfortable around you, or, you know, it's just, to me, it's just very hard. It depends on what you have to forgive. And then they say you forgiven for yourself, but you know, at some point when you're raging or going through grief or whatever, you don't want to forgive the person for the things that they did, or you don't want to forgive in general. Like you have to get there. So for me, I just feel like, what is really forgiveness? Like how do you, so like I just really want somebody to explain to me, how do you get to forgive somebody truly and then be comfortable around them? Or are you really just doing it for yourself, and then do you just keep that person away from you? Like, what does that look like? You know, I don't know.
I mean, it's excellent. And thank you so much for putting that out there, because it's, for some, it's like you mentioned, very, very challenging. And you're asking, how do you forgive? Does anyone want to respond to that? How do you forgive?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So the beginning of it, that's very hard. Okay, so if I put that under that's very hard category, then I'm going to approach it in a particular way. So speaking to forgiveness, for me on my journey, I learned there were some major, I'm calling them major players on my forgiveness list. Was my mom and my dad, which was connected to my peace and my happiness, which was connected to how I made choices in my life. My resentment toward my dad caused me to have an imbalance when I have relationships with men. My perception of how to be a wife was affected by my relationship with my mom. And then my relationship with my mom hindered the relationships that I had with other women. So there was a really big imbalance in my life. And so when I paused, because I was pushed against a wall where I thought there was no way out. So I'm calling that a pause. And it was a form of rescue. And I had time to take a look at things. And so who benefits when I let go of resentment or unforgiveness? Who benefits? That's the question. Who benefits from me holding on to it? So we get to decide what type of life we live, connected to forgiveness or unforgiveness. And then I said to myself, when I looked at how other people were treating me, my perception of how people were treating me, and it's like, well, am I guilty of treating myself the same way other people are treating me? If I say you're treating me badly, so I was treating myself badly. I was eating things that wasn't good for me. I was doing things that wasn't good for me. I was lying to myself. So then when I look at other people, I was like, tell somebody, just don't lie to me. But then I had to take a look. It's like, you lie to yourself for the regular. So am I holding somebody else on a higher accountability than I'm holding myself? So that's my take on forgiveness. Is it necessary? Who does it benefit? I would not push on to wake up not another day if I did not know how to forgive. Now that I know the benefits of forgiving somebody else, do we do the best we can in any given moment with what we have to work with? Do we? So, and then forgiveness and continuing to have a relationship with somebody, is the relationship going to be the same? So those are a lot of different areas and components in that. However, what I want to leave with my sister, who just finished sharing about how hard it is. Yeah, most things that we most adjustments that we're going to make are going to be extremely hard. But if they're doable, then go ahead and do it. So that's my take on it. I can't live without forgiving myself. We had a facilitator in this space a while ago, and she had a tape, a recording where it says, I give myself grace. I give myself grace. And then if I forgot 2 times to give myself grace, then I said it a 3rd time. It's 3 times every day. I give myself grace. Give yourself grace, and then extend that same grace to other people. My father has passed on, but I totally, fully forgave him. My mother's still here, and I forgave her. And I forgave her so that I can live my authentic life in love.
Thank you so much, Catherine. Before we get to Jacqueline and Jazzy, I want to acknowledge that it's 8 o'clock. I hope you can stay. We still got more to talk about, but for those who may have to leave, I have an offer for you. If you email me at valjlyons@gmail.com, I'm going to give you the first chapter of my book, which is Power Networking from the Inside Out, where your career and your well-being meet. So I just wanted to acknowledge I have an offer for those that may have to jump. I hope many can stay. We still got lots to talk about. But if you email me, valjlyons@gmail.com, you're going to get the first chapter of my book, okay? And thank you so much for those who joined, who may have to leave. Before I get to Jackie and Jazzy, I want to say one thing about what Catherine said. To Kia, what is the impact of not, because this ties to what Catherine says, what is the impact on you, on your life for not forgiving? What is the impact on your life? Because that might have you look for release, that burden on your heart that you're carrying around in your life that's having an impact on what you think about people, what you think about yourself. So being present to the impact and being willing to release it is one of the first steps, I believe, to forgiveness, which is what Catherine also spoke to. And I'm going to go with Jacqueline and then Jazzy. I can't hear you, Jack. I can't. Is it just me?
No, we can't hear her.
Okay.
Yeah, so you work on that and then we'll pull up Jazzy. All right, Jazzy, are you able to come on? All right, there you go.
Yes, hi. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I want to say, I'm sorry, I forgot the sister's name that was speaking before Catherine.
Dakia.
Dakia.
Dakia. Okay. I know she was asking, like, how do you forgive for yourself? Do you forgive for someone else? It was really hard for me to get the concept of I'm forgiving for myself. I'm like, but I'm still angry. So I have to learn how to not be angry. My way of learning not how to be angry was learning to accept that person and know who they are and see them in a different light. And they may have even seen themselves. So I look at a person as a whole. And I think I mentioned this last time. And I see like, okay, this person's pain comes from here. This person is acting like this because of this. Like we always say, hurt people, right? So I get that you're not necessarily behaving like this because of something, because of me. It may be because of yourself, or you don't know how to express yourself when it comes to something in terms of me. And that was a huge thing in making me, like someone can literally sit there and curse me out, and I don't see it in the same way anymore. I look at them through a different lens. I look at them in a different way, and I realize they're only giving me what they know to give or what they have at the moment. And like Ms. Catherine was saying, even with my mom, I used to be upset with my mom for certain things. And I'm like, she can only give me what she has. She doesn't know how to give me something that she doesn't have. Even in recent conversations and something I'm going through personally, I realized that she didn't know how to respond to me. I don't think she doesn't care about what I'm going through at all. I just think she doesn't know how to respond to me, or I'm expecting a certain response that she's not giving. Just because I mother a certain way with my daughter, and I'm not a perfect mom by any means. But I learned to be that way with my daughter because of what I felt like I was lacking with my mom. And my daughter probably looked at me like, "Mom, you got a lot of work to do, and I'm not going to do this with my daughter as a mom." But I felt like, okay, there's something I felt like I improved on and increased my own well-being on to give her that. So, and that's to say, my forgiveness comes from just looking at a person and not thinking that they mean malice out of it, even if they're trying to be mean about it. I've literally sat there in a conversation when I sat here last and said, I'm going to go have a meeting with someone, and had that meeting, and I listened to that person go from a myriad of emotions, from let's fix this to I can't stand you, to like all kind of different things, but I got where it came from. So I wasn't offended by it at all. And it's just me knowing that that is something more about them than about me. And you may be annoyed with some stuff that I've done, but what is annoying you about what I did or what I said? And if we can't have that discussion, you can't really get into that too much. Me knowing you, know that it's so much more about you that you're angry about right now than me. And I've learned not to take it on and not to keep it.
Thank you for that, Jazzy. You know, I heard compassion, accepting people for who they are and who they're not, that we don't know what people are going through, and not taking things personal, which is not always easy, but thank you. I see some other hands.
All right, let's see. Oh, Jackie, still having her tech issues. Let's hear from Sahu's Peak. You can unmute. Are you there, Sahu's Peak? There
Yep.
you go.
Yep. Okay. Great day. Great day. Hey, Valerie. Hey, Woo family.
Hey.
Good to see you.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. I'm in the background on Facebook a lot of times these days. But I was like, let me get on with Val.
Good.
So, but thank you for being here. So forgiveness for me, forgiveness for me was a real journey. I mean, I noticed, I'm going to say, wow, at least 15, 20 years ago that I would be crying about everything. Somebody said something to me. I was shy then, which is a dis-ease, right? I was shy. I thought I could not speak in front of people. I was afraid of my own power, everything. I did Landmark years ago and all this. And what I found for myself was I honored others more than I honored myself. Yeah. I honored their word of who they say they were, whatever they said to me. I honored their opinion of me, opinion of life, opinion of everything. I honored everybody so much. And I was like, oh, I'm just so loving. I this and that. And it was like, well, what about you? No, I can't say this. I didn't give myself permission to say anything. And I would just like bubble inside. When I got that I honored others more than I did myself, that was the beginning of me being able to start along the path of true forgiveness. Because first of all, I had to be like, so my dad told me that what other people say is their opinion. That was my dad. Yeah, well, that's their opinion. What's yours? And my other family members, my brothers and sisters, they was like, oh yeah, so and so and so. But I'm over here like, no, I'm the good one. No, what they said is so and so. My dad was like, yeah, but what you say? And they done gone up with the next conversation. I'd be like, finding everything. So forgiveness for me at this point is really taking what other people say, take it in, but understand that it is their opinion. It's where they're at. And then I get to let them be where they're at so that I can stand still and bring in my opinion and weigh the two, not just accept whatever is said. And then if it's not of me and for me, then I can actually like keep it, I can let them have it and it'll roll off of me and be like, okay, I think we talk about this. or I think this too, but not harshly, but just like to like still stand in my own power, because now I actually honor who I am first, and then they get to be with me in that. I'm complete.
That's great. That's like the cornerstone of self-love, honoring who we are, honoring yourself, acknowledging yourself, owning your power, being grounded inside of that. It's like, you can hear what people say, but it's like, okay, I hear you. Ain't got nothing to do with me. I love it. Thank you so much for that. Great perspective.
Thank you.
Yes, Jacqueline, are you able to? Let's see if we can hear you.
I was on my phone and,
Ah,
There you are.
and I heard Catherine speak. And what Catherine had to say was speaking to my soul.
mm,
I said, I got to come on and have a conversation because, Dakia, what Catherine was saying is real. And I'm telling you, I had to examine my point of view and where it came from and why I was thinking the way that I was thinking and holding on to so many resentments and things like that. And I'm going to tell you, I'm 60 years old, young lady. And what you're doing right now, I have to acknowledge you for this self inspection, this introspection that you're going through, because it took me up until this age to do that. And the impact on me,
mm.
I can't even explain the impact on me, the impact on my children, because you pass that on. That unforgiveness, you pass that on. And forgiveness starts with you. You got to forgive yourself for what you did and what you didn't do, for what you said and what you didn't say, who you were and who you were not when you were hurt. Because that is going to, you're going to collapse that into what goes on with everybody else in your life. You got to go back and get to the origin of that and dig that out. And when you dig that out and you realize how it's been impacting you, and you say to yourself, you know what? Is it really worth this? Is it really worth being this angry? Is it worth losing relationships? Is it worth pushing that onto your children? And then you make a decision. You have a choice. You always have a choice. And you say, you know what? I choose me. I choose my life. I choose my kids. And you are beautiful, Dakia. Absolutely beautiful. I've been listening to you and watching you the last few times that I've come on here. And I'm like, look at that young lady. Look at her. And I'm just like, whoa, don't carry that, sister. Don't carry that. Oh, please let it go. I just love you. And I don't even know you. So love yourself. I'm up here crying. Let me stop.
Oh,
Love yourself and let it go. And I like what Catherine said. And I was just like, yes, forgiveness is key for you. It's not for them. It's for you.
mm, mm,
Put you first in that regard. Think like that. Forgiveness is for me. You don't have to let people run all over you. You don't have to keep accepting what they do. You have a choice in that too. Take responsibility. No, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not letting you have that. No, you can't use my credit. You think I didn't remember that, Dakia? So that's my take, and I'm just wanted to say that, and I want to say I love you. This is just thank you so much, Sister Lyons. Thank you.
welcome. This is great. Wonderful.
You want to share anything, Dakia?
Yes, I just wanted to say thank you. All the examples and the feedback on how I should view forgiveness going forward is definitely implanted, and I'm going to work towards that, because everyone that shared in my response was the one that said, "Oh, I'm angry." I can't remember. I think it was Jazzy. I'm not sure.
Jazzy.
Like that's what every time I go forward, it's like, why am I still angry? Then I can see it this way. So when Catherine came on, she told me to see it in a way that I'm doing it for myself, because people are reacting only because that's what they know. You can't put that on you. Then their pain is their pain. Start to see it differently, and then I can start forgiving myself. Even when you just came on to telling me, like, see it for that it's for you. Why are you carrying that burden of somebody else trauma that they putting onto you? And I appreciate the examples. I'm hearing them. I'm going to apply them. I'm going to try to let that anger get out of me because I'm so angry, you know? And so I'm just going to thank you for those examples, and I'm just going to apply them because that's all I can do. You know, when you ask, you will receive. My team tell me this all the time because I'm very quiet sometimes. But I said, you know, I'm going to participate because self-love is something that I need to work on. So I said, I'm going to say how I feel. And when I say it, I'm hoping I get good answers, and God is good because I'm so sensitive. I cry about everything. You guys gave me very good feedback. You know, it's like I felt like I was negative Nancy, you know, and you guys gave me so much positivity. So thank you.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Once
Thank you so
again,
much.
Takia, thank you
Look
for
at this
sharing.
village.
This is the power of sharing for
Mhm.
support. So thank you, all that shared, all that supported. Takia, thank you for your courage. Takia, I know there's some other hands raised. So happy that you're here.
Yeah, let's hear from Inez. Inez, are you still with us? All right, let's see. I'll go to Maury and then we can come back to Inez.
Great rising, everyone. Everyone's doing really well. I'm doing really well. I just got in from my Bali flight, so I'm doing really well. I do feel like it's 8 o'clock last night, but I'm all mixed up. But I had to come on because Sister Dakia, I hear the tears, and I just want to tell you, keep crying it out. Tears are our libation. It's our freedom. It's the way, the healing. I used to be a crier all the time. Like just start talking and then whatever I'm sharing, I start crying. And it is one of the most healing things that you can get yourself into doing as a part of the forgiveness process. You know, and the lesson that before you go around forgiving other people, you forgive yourself. I could think about times in my life where coming to my truth that I had to forgive myself for allowing that person. I had to forgive myself for allowing myself to be a part of that situation. The acknowledgement that as strong and independent as I think I was, girl, why would you allow yourself to be treated that way, spoken to that way, positioned that way? And then the tears came. And they used to come and they used to come and they used to come and they used to come. And I used to feel like a hot freaking mess. Like, why am I always crying when I share who I am? But what I've just learned is when the tears flow, it's like a libation to the spirit. It's a breaking of a stronghold over my life. So I really want to just share that because I hear you crying, and my sister, myself, I definitely see you in me, and knowing that. So when I was even Bali, right? So first time going, I love to travel. Not like and first I'm taking my kids that far, so that was a big deal. And I found myself at the last sunset that I was there, just tears just streaming, and I'm just like, I felt like I came to Bali whole and complete. I felt like I was coming on an adventure and the tears were just flowing. And like the only other country that does that to me is Trinidad, but that's where my roots are. And I was like, wow, love must just be present. So that's the last thing I want to leave you with. When the tears are flowing, love is present. And if you're crying because of something for yourself, well, girl, self-love is on its way. So just want to come on here and thank you, Valerie. I haven't met you yet, but I will. You are phenomenal.
I can't wait. I'm like this with you.
I haven't met you yet, but I know she's gonna be on again. I saw you the last time, and I thought, oh my Lord, this sister is phenomenal. So thank you for creating this platform, this conversation. As I said, I just got in, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna log on to Woo and see what's going on here.
Thank you so much for sharing. I love
absolutely.
Tears are libation. Tears are a symbol of love.
Yes.
Love is in the space. I love it.
Yes. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Thank you so
Maury.
much. Oh boy.
All right, and Inez, let's try you again. Let's see, I'll ask you to unmute. Excuse me.
I guess Inez is not.
Her mute isn't working.
Ah,
Yeah. All right. All right, Inez, I'm sorry. It's not, I'm pressing it, but it's not letting you come off for us. So we'll keep trying. And in the meantime, let's get back into the slide deck here.
yes, yes,
I'll
yes.
come back to you, Teresa.
Ooh, forgiveness was hot. Okay.
Mhm. That's
Creating,
a session in itself.
I know, forgiveness is a session. Yeah.
Mm.
Creating yourself. That's something else around self-love. We talked the last session, I think, we talked about what does it mean to create, right? What does it mean to create? And then what does it mean to create yourself, right? Does anyone want to, if that resonates with anyone, speak to that? Inside of self-love, what does it mean to create yourself?
Um, I, I, I think the main thing about creating yourself is being comfortable with who you are. And because I've not grown up with being comfortable who I am, um, coming into creating, who I am is so different than, what I thought because, I really love who I'm becoming. I love my growth, and it's like, I constantly, like just telling myself, Teresa, you came a long way, like you are a gift to the world, and like just even walking in and just speaking to it, sometimes is a challenge, but I have to because I don't want to continue to live the way I've been living, and I want to be a complete, woman that's complete and just, walking in love and loving myself especially because that's mostly important for creating yourself is that you love on yourself because the greatest thing we could do to ourselves, world sisters, um, show up in places like this on a daily basis when you can, and love on yourself because there's so much other stuff out there for us to do, and the love is the greatest gift you can give yourself. I'm telling you, that love thing is beautiful. When you just, like I would say, I love my hair, like the parts of me that I been uncomfortable. I'm like, oh girl, I love the way your belly is so fat and juicy. I actually say that to myself. That sounds crazy to me, but I'd be like, oh girl, I love your eyes. Like I just start looking at different parts that I feel uncomfortable and start telling it, and I'm appreciating that, I realized that I came a long way and I couldn't have gotten here if I didn't change my mindset from where I'm at. It's like I'm showing up in ways that's important. It's like show up in places that bring you healing. Like if you're crying, whatever, just show up anyway. It's like speak sometime when you may feel like you don't want to speak. Let it just create a whole new and just love on yourself, family. Love on yourself. Smile in your face like, girl, you are so beautiful. Just do stuff like that. And I tell you, it creates a whole new atmosphere for you. Y'all got me crying here today. It's like I love y'all. Y'all said such sweet stuff in here today to what's her name?
Nakia.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, girl, you was loved in here, boo, okay?
Yeah.
Whatever you need, just show up in here and the healing will take place for you, baby girl, okay? Love y'all.
Yeah. Thank you,
Thank you,
Teresa.
Teresa.
I know there's some comments in the chat before I respond to what Teresa said.
Um, let's see. Oh, so it was the community pouring out some support to Takia. Catherine said, "Put your big girl pants on. You are supported by many, and you got this." And we're breathing and holding space for you, Takia. And Catherine shared that tears are necessary. And this Gem from Facebook said, "This helps me expect anything from anyone." Jacqueline shared, "Vulnerability was the key to my forgiveness, and I got there kicking and screaming." Catherine shared that the tears of pain can turn to tears of gratitude and joy. Um, Growing and flowing, teaching and expanding, Catherine said. And then we also have Inez, who I want to try to see if she can come off mute and maybe share as well.
Mhm.
But did you have a response for Teresa before?
Well, I wanted to speak to, loving on yourself as a creation, because sometimes we're not always loving ourselves and loving the parts of our bodies that we resist loving. Creating yourself is around creating yourself as powerful, amazing, creating yourself in ways that uplift you and bring you joy and power. So for those that may not feel like they share, or maybe for some that withhold, you create yourself as being fully self-expressed. Because in creating yourself and declaring that you're fully self-expressed, you're fully self-expressed. Because, and then that's what Maury said, because you said so. Because you said so. That's creating yourself as anything that is uplifting, empowering, powerful, great, gracious, grand, joyful, loving. You're creating it because the power of your word says that you are. That's what I wanted to add. That's right. That's right. All right.
And what a great ad. I'm glad you did share that.
Yes.
We are moving in this Sunday morning service.
That's right.
I
All
said
right.
amen.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Let's see. Inez, are you still with us? Okay. Asking to unmute. Well, Inez, if it doesn't work, then please share it in the chat, and then we'll bring your voice into the space and share out what you had to say. All right.
Okay.
So let's go back. Yep.
Lessons we are learning. We've been talking about lessons we are learning along the way, which is so important and such an important component of self-love. The lessons of forgiveness, big lesson. And sometimes with forgiveness, we forgive ourselves over time. It's not a one-shot deal. Lessons we are learning, accepting the unacceptable, letting go of the past, accepting who you are and who you're not. These are all lessons. We've learned some heavy duty lessons in this pandemic. What's important? What's not? What's a priority? What's not? Right? Where do I want to work there? No, I don't. Do I want to be with them? No, I don't. Yes, I do. Like those kinds of lessons that we're learning over time, and acknowledging ourselves for the lessons that we're learning, because that's how we're growing, right? We have time, maybe, do we have time to hear from one person around lessons that we are learning?
Sorry, couldn't unmute. Yes, we do. If anyone wants to share.
Yes, I do.
I think Dakia also unmuted, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, she did?
Oh,
Dakia?
yes.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
We
Go
could do
ahead.
both. Yeah.
All right, let her go first, please.
Okay. The biggest lesson I'm learning is discipline and accountability. They have to go hand in hand, and they have to be done in order to heal. And that another lesson that I learned is that it's going to be very ugly. So I have to accept that too. And I also have to accept that this healing process is my own. Like, I'm doing it. I got to do it by myself. No one is doing it with me. So it may be cold, it may be lonely, but it's something that I got to do. I'm going to be the only one to acknowledge my wrongs and fix them. That's something else that I learned. And I have to learn that I'm going to have to give myself pick-me-ups, little quotes that I just wrote down. And I learned that, that I also have to be patient after I've learned after I've learned everything that I need to learn, like the basic tools, because I'm gonna always need to learn more stuff. I also just realized that people have to get used to the new me, once I'm at that point. It's so much that I'm learning. So it's like learning is always going to be there. And I'm learning so much from this group. I feel like this is my rock bottom, so it's no way but up from here. And I just want to say thank you for God put people in your life for certain reasons and certain seasons and stuff like that. But if it wasn't for Chantel, like exposing this group, I wouldn't have never known, And so I want to say thank you for that. Because this group has given me other opportunities to other doors, to other beautiful people that coach and give you, powerful like lessons. So I just want to say thank you for that, because I never really thanked her. And I'm so thankful for this group. I'm so thankful for this group and the people that always reach out and say positive things that I could use every day. I use it. I write it down. This book is full. It's almost done. It's crazy. I'm just so thankful.
And I want to thank you, Dakia, because we never actually even fully met. She came to a session with my brother when the men were speaking, and she kept coming back. She kept coming back. And so you had to keep coming back, and that was all you. So thank you so much for that, and for being so vulnerable. Yeah.
Dakia, you are not alone, girl.
And you're right where you're supposed to be.
If you think you have to do this life alone, you are wrong. And if this conversation hasn't demonstrated, don't ever think that, honey. Certain things start within. Your self-awareness, that's yours. Your self-awareness is yours. The opportunity to share, that's yours. Once you do that, the gifts come. And the gifts come in the support that you get from others, the love that is shown. So please, that's one thing, a lesson learned that many of us learn late. I want you to learn that now. This life is not to be lived alone. This life is to be lived with others who are like-minded, loving, gifted, generous, empowering, and kind. And you know how to find them because they're right here. And there are other places too. There are other places too. So I'd love to offer that to you, honey, to get that. And you have that energy to engage. Know your gift. You have an energy to engage and to connect. Okay?
Yes.
Yes, honey.
On the right place.
On the right place. In the right place, right time, right track. That's right.
Anything else, Dakia?
Huh?
Anything else you want to share?
No, that was it. I just thank you. I'm so thankful because at 29, that's when I joined the group, and I said to myself, like, before that, I felt fearless. So I said, why am I feeling so broken? And then I said, I'm gonna keep coming back to this group. I'm just gonna keep coming back. I'm just gonna keep coming back because I didn't even know these groups existed. You know how small-minded you are when you're young? You don't know certain things. So I was like, I want to come back. I just kept coming back. And then it just felt like ever since the pandemic started, I've been going through tragedy. And since then, that's when other traumas come up and you just feel like, oh my God, what is going on? And I'm like, I'm young. Why do I feel like this? And before this, the world did not, like, problems in the world, they existed, but I didn't feel them personally. And then when the pandemic came, so many tragedies started happening to me. Trauma started coming up because people don't know how to handle them and stuff like that, So I just want to say thank you so much, because this group gives me life, like, that I thought in a different way, because before I was ignorant, you know what I'm saying? Not saying that I'm so enlightened now, but I'm getting there with this group. I just want to say thank you.
We're just so happy and proud of you. We don't even know what to do with ourselves.
Right. Thank you for that testimony.
Speaking on behalf of the group,
Absolutely.
we don't know what to do with ourselves. We're so thrilled with you.
I'm gonna cut in. I'm gonna cut in briefly, and if you're please.
Oh, I had two hands. Okay, cool.
Like here, please save the chat and read through it. Take your time and read through it because we are all supporting you in here. You're not here by yourself at all, not by a long shot.
That's really
So
great.
save the chat, and if you don't know, anybody who wants to save the chat and doesn't know how, the three little dots on the down where you type your comments in, next to the emoji, the smiley face, the three little dots, click that, and it'll save chat, and you click that. And then after you do that, do open in folder so that you'll know where it is, because otherwise it'll take you a while to find it.
Can you tell me again? I'm so sorry. I hit the three dots, go to view full
Hit
transcript.
the three dots, choose save chat, click on save chat, and then after you click on save chat.
Maybe because you're on your phone. I can send it to you, Dakia. I'll email it to you.
Okay, yes, thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome.
Nice to have those reminders.
Yeah. Yeah, read the love, read the love.
Yes, read it and feel it. Read it and feel it. Because it's real.
Thanks, Z, for that suggestion.
Oh boy. All right.
Thank you, Dakia, for that testimony.
Yes, wonderful.
Yes, thank you.
All right. So where do you want to go, Coach?
I think there's a part 4 up in this piece.
We want a series from you so bad.
Oh my goodness.
We're making you create one.
I'm telling you, the content is there.
Yes.
We can go back to the slide. I'll just like wrap that piece up, and then there's some other hands. Lessons learned always. Self-love. I'm just gonna kind of go through this because these are actual themes in and of themselves, but work and play, right? Some of us are workaholics. We don't play as hard as we work. We forgot what it's like to play. We forgot. And that's what keeps that energy, that youth, the brain power, the engagement, the fun, the life, the light. So just offering that work is great, play is greater because play helps us to do the work, right?
Right.
Oh, sexual wellness, that's a whole conversation. I had a hot conversation the other day around sexual intimacy and sexual versatility. That's going to be a conversation we're going to have inside of self-love, because we don't talk as a community. We don't talk about sex, and we don't talk about the power of intimacy and the distinction between intimacy and sexuality. Just want to, so there's a lot to self-love. The list is exhaustive. This is not the finite list. There is much, much more to say about it, but it's important for us to tap into it. To tap into these different components, right? To ensure that we're living fully and we're loving fully. And we talked about loving on ourselves. These are ways to love on ourselves, right? So I know there's a couple of hands. Chantel, we could take a couple of folks.
We could hear from one person and then we can continue.
Okay.
Who do you want to hear from?
Yes. So whose hand is raised?
Well, Teresa's was first and then Catherine.
Okay, so we're gonna hear from one person and we're gonna, so Teresa then.
Young lady, I'm you and you me. I was just cussing somebody out real bad the other day. And I felt like they deserved it. And I was like, and I was mad. So let me tell you something, girl. Give yourself some grace. It's a process, boo. You got this. It is not going to be hard. Don't tell you, because that's what I told myself. It's going to be too hard. It is not hard. It's going to be so easy. The healing's going to come so quickly. It's the words that you speak. Speak life. Say, girl, this thing, I'm going to get this thing and I'm going to win. Let me look in your face. I'm going to get this thing and I'm going to win and I'm going to do it. And I'm going to let go. Because you know what? If you don't be me. Unforgiveness and being angry made me sick. Sick. When I tell you sick. I have been diagnosed with all kind of horrible diseases in the last couple of years from unforgiveness and anger. And you don't want that, boo. You don't want that. I'm telling you, you don't want it. You don't want that lifestyle. Let it go, boo. Nobody's worth it. Girl, let it go. And I'm telling you, because when I started letting go, that's when I started getting healed. I'm doing better. I took the bus yesterday. The bus. I ain't took the bus in years. I was tired as hell when I got off the bus, but I took the bus. I did it, boo. I'm here to tell you could do it, boo. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go, boo. Let it go. You got this, boo. Show up with us. Call us. Reach out. Give us your number. We'll call you and check on you. Don't be afraid. Love you.
That's really great. That's really great. Really being present to the impact of not forgiving can translate into sickness. Well, I believe that we are wrapping this session up at
Powerful.
8:40.
Yes.
Thank you for those who shared. Thank you for those who didn't, who held the space. Thank you for those on Facebook that shared, and for those who held the space. This was a powerful conversation. I have it that some healing has taken place here this morning, and that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. What a beautiful gift. So appreciate the conversation and the generosity of spirit. There will be more. Yes. So I think we're gonna, this was part of, you flip to the next slide, but I think we're gonna wrap it up. Chantel, move on. Thank you, honey. So as I mentioned, whoever emails me at valjlyons@gmail.com will receive chapter 1 of my new book, Power Networking from the Inside Out, where your career and your well-being meet. I'm a power networker, and I'm blessed because of it. What a wonderful network of loving human beings I have that support and love me, and I offer them up to others. That's what I do. I hear you need something, you want a resource, you contact me. So if you email me, you'll get a chapter 1 of my book.
Well, and congratulations on starting that new book.
Yes, thank you. It's published actually, but
good.
Yeah, it's published. And here's how you contact me on Facebook, Instagram at Val J Lyons. I have a Linktree link that has all my handles. As I mentioned, my email is valjlyons@gmail.com, and you can check out my website at www.valeriejlyonsenterprises.com. See, when I started my business, I created myself as an enterprise because I wanted to be big and think big, and it's happening. So thank you.
Great.
So we accept love offerings and donations via Zelle, QuickPay, at soulleadershipdevelopment@gmail. You can cash it up at the hashtag for $spirit of a woman. And the code is 661VL. And this is to really support the folks who are working tirelessly behind the scenes and the facilitators. So thank you in advance.
Thank you. And again, please don't be shy to bless Sister Valerie here with your love offerings as a thank you for this powerful session this morning. You always bring it, Val. So thank you so much for that. And free of charge, right? So we get this healing, this movement so early in the morning on our spirits, mind, bodies, and spirits. So thank you so much. And here in the woo space, we always say that money stands for my own natural energy yield. So there's that exchange of currency, that exchange of energy. So please, if you can, we ask that you start signing up for the automated links here that you can have your love offerings taken out once a month, a certain time in the month that works for you, so that you're continuing to pour into the community and helping with the programming and booking facilitators who continue to move this community forward. All right, and up next tomorrow morning, South Beat. I don't know if he's still in the house, but she'll be here tomorrow morning, Monday morning massage with South Beat, our healing hands artist. And then we have Dr. Alexia Gaffney, who's coming back, and she is going to tell us more about COVID. So COVID is still COVIDing, and now there's monkeypox too. So she's going to give us the scoop on what to do, where we are in this pandemic, and help us get the tools that we need for what's next. And to all of the new people, I don't know if you heard, but Takia's testimony about coming into the space as a new person and making the choice to return, look what it can do. Look at how it can transform your life if you commit to coming back, right? So thank you for joining us, and come back to this community where we are here to learn, elevate, and ascend. So in order to come back, these are our scheduled offerings. We do Zoom live workshops Sunday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 7 to 8:30 a.m. Those are our hour-and-a-half long sessions, or sometimes we go over like we did this morning. And then on Mondays and Wednesdays, we meet for 30 minutes from 7 to 7:30 a.m. Eastern for a quick session before everybody starts their day. So we also stream these sessions on Facebook, and you can join the page. We'll give you that information next. And you can get reminders to join our sessions by texting Woo Nation to 74121. Also, you can always represent Woo with your swag by going to bit.ly/Woo swag, getting a tote bag, a nice laptop case for yourself, maybe a journal as you continue to go through this process and transform your lives. Again, like Dr. Gaffney said, COVID is still COVIDing, so you might want to grab a mask, water bottle, whatever it is. And if you have any new ideas, let us know what you'd like to see in the Woo Swag store. All right, and then again, we want to see you next week. So thank you so much for joining us now. Stay in touch, and you can do that by registering at bit.ly/wake up movement, joining our Facebook page, checking us out on Instagram and on YouTube. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please reach out to us at info.wakeupseries@gmail.com. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to unmute everyone so that we can love up on Sister Val and give her our love and admiration for today's session. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Val. This was really
Thank you, beloved. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you for creating this space.
Thank you.
So much.
Woo-hoo,
It was wonderful as
woo-hoo,
usual.
Thank you.
Getting to
Great
our authentic
session.
selves.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
so
We need
wonderful.
another
Wonderful
one.
session.
Well,
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you for
I'm
waking
like
us
Thank
up.
you,
Thank you for waking us
amazing.
up.
Miss McCray, for being so vulnerable
Yes,
with
thank
us.
you
We
for
really
the tears of
appreciate you, sister.
libation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Love you. Hey, family. How y'all
Yes.
doing? Love y'all.
Thank you for
Hey,
guiding this conversation the
hey,
way you did,
Yes,
Valerie.
thank
Thank you so
you.
much for carrying us with
yes, yes,
care,
yes.
carrying us with love.
Yes,
Yes, so much.
Yes.
Thank y'all.
thank you.
All
Love
right,
you.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
It
you.
was a
Thank
beautiful
you, Sister
session.
Val. Just wonderful.
Powerful.
Amazing.
Blessings, blessings. Thank
See you
you.
tomorrow, family. Love y'all. Peace and blessing.
You all.
Thank you.
Oh, love you, love you, love you.
Next time, Sister Val.
Love y'all.
Thank you.
Mwah. Love y'all. Have a great